has been pressed. So legally, I have to tell you, you're being recorded.
Oh, no.
You're trying to ask me about my car's extended warranty?
Oh, shit, my tickets, I haven't paid them. Stop recording. Gotta go. Jump up.
All right. Welcome back, people, to another episode of the New Music Podcast. We got your two regular jackoffs from upstate New York. My name is Patrick.
And I'm Kyle.
And we have another regular jackoff. Not quite regular jackoff.
Not from upstate New York, I should say. That's what you should say.
Yeah, not even from upstate New York. We have Adam from the band Dropout Kings. Why don't you say hi?
Hi. How's it going, everybody?
It's fucking lit. So, I told before we started recording, I gotta stop moving my chair around because I'm super fucking excited.
I can do that a lot, too.
Yeah, and you're making a lot of background noise, Kyle.
I know. I know. My neighbors are gonna fucking hate me. I usually, for the viewers that watch, I usually have a man bun in. I have a hat on. And, Adam, do you know what type of hat this is?
Oh, hey, fuck yeah. Did you get that at one of the shows? You had to have.
It literally just came in.
Oh, they're online. I forgot we did that. Fuck
literally, as soon as I got home, it literally was right in front of me. I was like, oh shit, no way.
That's sick. I appreciate it. That's fucking,
yeah.
It looks good on you.
It honestly and I'm going to sell you out real quick, you guys, real quick, because it doesn't even feel like, I usually don't wear hats, guys, but this hat, definitely worth the money because I can't feel that I'm wearing a hat on. Like, it doesn't feel like I'm actually wearing a hat.
Yeah, sometimes I get really stoned and I forget I'm wearing the hat. Like, it's just not wearing a hat. I'm like,
Story of my life.
Yeah.
Except I don't even have to be stoned. I just forget, like,
yeah.
what I'm doing.
That too, honestly.
I walked in the bedroom today and I was like, you know what? I forgot why I came in here. Oh, yeah. I have to record this really sick band. I have to do an interview. Shit, that's right.
But yeah, guys, check out the merch because the merch is lit.
That merch.
Absolutely.
I can actually wear this at work. So,
hell yeah. Right. We wanted it to just look like a regular, like, clothing brand. You know, not even like a band, like something that people just wear. They think it like looks cool type deal.
Like the little crown on the top, it reminds me a little bit of the Adidas thing.
Yeah, totally. You know, the same type of idea.
Swag.
I love it. It's definitely worth the money, guys. So check out their merch. They're fucking fantastic, and they're a great band.
Now, Adam, for the listeners who might not be familiar with your band, how would you describe your sound and just the band in general?
Yeah, for sure. We like to classify it as trap metal, but it's like rap rock, like rap metal stuff. Like I would consider it. I like tell people it's almost like Linkin Park for adults, but it also gets which isn't a diss because Linkin Park's like one of my favorite bands ever. But it's like a lot more like edgy, I guess you could say, than that kind of stuff. More modernized and like with like some gin influences and stuff like that. But I would also say I forget what I was gonna say actually. I smoked like right before this.
I had a feeling.
Yeah.
But,
that's cool.
Yeah, I mean that's a good way to describe it. Oh yeah, I was gonna say it gets more like Zillakami the type stuff too. So it's like kind of it's weird. We like to scatter shot things. So it's like we'll cover like a wide range, you know, on the album and stuff like that. So it varies, but yeah, you know, if you're into that type of stuff though, check it.
I would have to say you've heard of Issues, correct? The band Issues.
Oh, yeah, fuck yeah, I love.
I feel like the old style Issues is more of like I can tell, like the old school Issues. I can like get that vibe from your band as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. I fuck with Issues super heavy. Like we all do. Like everyone in the band really likes them. And their newest album I thought was fucking super good.
Fuck yeah, dude. Yeah, Issues right here.
Dude, it's so good, man. Like I was steady jamming that shit for a while.
Oh, for the listeners also, if you're listening to their old shit with like Disappear and Stingray, don't listen to that when you're going through a breakup. Trust me. It's in the fucking feels. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Yeah, 0 out of 10 would not recommend.
Yeah, if you're going through a hard breakup, do not listen to Issues. Not even gonna
Unless
lie to
you
you.
just need that cry. You just need to cry it out.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah,
Absolutely.
you hold it in is when fuck shit starts happening. So you gotta just have a good cry, dude. Everyone does.
So I'm not sure if you know this, but I was checking out your Spotify recently, and Scratch and Claw has almost 1 million streams.
Yeah, it's so
It's
close, bro.
so close.
Yeah. It's funny you said that because I was literally just looking at that today and I was like, oh, damn, it's super close. I'm ready.
I'm ready. I prepared my anus for the new music. I'm ready. Just give it to me, Daddy.
What did you do to prepare?
Well, I started with a little bit of lube. You start with this hand motion, and then you just slowly start.
You got to
start stretching.
Yeah, definitely.
You got to start it easy.
If you go all in, you're gonna prolapse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or come too fast, dude. You don't want that.
No, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
But Pat, what would be your favorite song on the album from these guys?
Fuck. I mean, I was really fucking with the song they did with Landon Tours. Yeah, that Going Rogue, that fucking song. That fucking song goes hard.
That's definitely one of my favorites. Were you asking me which one was my favorite?
Well, I was asking Pat to see what.
But now I'm curious. What is your favorite?
Yeah, what is your favorite?
Probably Something Awful. I like that a lot. The first track on the album.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I had a hard time picking my favorite. It's a toss up between Burn One, Going Rogue.
I like that.
And Scratch and Claw, like that. Damn, dude. Like this album just bops.
Dang, dude. That's what we wanted it to be, just like in.
Oh, and I also forgot Bad Day. Bad Day.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Bad Day is fuck. I feel that every fucking day I go into work. Every fucking day.
Exactly.
Oh,
that's
my
how
God.
I want it to be for people, It's like feeling what everybody feels, Just like, fuck. Nah, but I appreciate it, though. Yeah, Scratch and Claw was actually the first song we ever wrote as a band.
Is that for real?
Yeah.
Wow. That's fucking awesome that not only is it the first song, but it's doing really well.
Yeah, I know. I thought it was really strange. But, I kind of had a feeling about that song. When we did it, I was like, I feel like there's something to this one. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But it definitely resonated with people, it seems like.
So I usually ask bands when we do these interview type things, how would you explain your origin story and pretty much how the band got together?
Yeah. So it basically all started from the ashes of another band, really. I was in another band called The Bad Chapter at the time, and then that kind of just disintegrated over time, and it wasn't really doing much. So I decided to do these YouTube covers, just to kind of stay relevant,
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, North Lane was hosting vocal tryouts, right? Because they just lost their original vocalist. So I put a couple auditions on my YouTube channel, and they did really well. And then so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna keep doing stuff like this. And then so I wanted to do a Linkin Park cover, and then I was like, I want to do this, but I want to have an actual rapper do Mike Shinoda's parts. And so I went to this video, and it was called AZ Underdog Cypher, and it was just a bunch of different underground rappers, and they just all did a cypher. So I was just scoping that, and I was like, I want just looking at the locals, just seeing what was out there. And then I see Eddie, and then I was like, this guy is what I'm looking for. And so I hit up his page on Facebook, and then little like being like, hey, you know, I'm doing this vocal cover, like blah blah blah, and then I sent it to him, and then his manager responded, and he was like, yeah, like this sounds cool, like I think he should do it. And then so me and him met up, and then like this kind of was like chill, you know. I felt like we kind of both felt like we already knew each other for like a long time. It was weird.
That's
Yeah.
the type
All
of
the
shit.
best
Yeah,
bands
it
start
was
out that
so
way.
It's
weird.
not even that. It's just all friendships. Seriously,
Yeah.
like
No, exactly. And like it's the weird thing about my band is like we hang out like they're the only people I hang out with really, but it's not because they're in my band. Like they're just like my best friends. Like even before we were in this band, like we've been friends. Like a lot of us have been friends for years. Like the person that we've all known the least is actually Eddie, but he's like one of the closest people to us as
Right.
well. You know, like it's like we're all the same. But yeah, so like we met up, hung out, recorded that, and then we were like, dude, this is fucking sick, you know. And then we did like a little video, put it out, and the reception was like so good, and I was just like, damn, like I want to make a band that's like us two as vocalists, and like I want to do like rap, I want to do like trap with like metal, you know. And then I was like, and I really want to have like those new metal influences and all that shit that I grew up on, because like ever since I was a little kid, I've been really into rap and metal. You know, like the first CD I had was like a rap album, and like, you know, like the first metal, the other first CD I had was like a metal album. You know, like I grew up on all this shit like simultaneously, and I switched from both, you know, and like I was just always into both because I'm like, they're similar, you know, people just don't think they are, but they are.
yeah,
Oh, they absolutely are.
definitely.
But so yeah, and then we kind of just fucking, I was like, hey dude, let's make a band out of this, and he was like, yeah. And so originally it was just me and him, and then we wrote Scratch and Claw, and then we had this guy named Gabber, because at the time it was before anyone else was in the band, like no one else was in the band, so we collaborated with this guy named Gabber, and he's from like where was he from? This is gonna piss me off now.
The struggle. You're gonna remember after you're done
I
recording
know.
this too.
He
'Cause
was
that's
hold on, I'm gonna look up the name because it's like a common name. Let me see.
This is definitely us, Pat.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is this definitely
this is
works.
us like doing research on the spot type shit.
This is us.
Yeah.
100%.
What I
Well,
find interesting though, I'm gonna just fill the empty space here. I think it's interesting though that you guys could have easily gone the route of just like getting beats from anybody and then just slapping your guys' vocals on it and going that direction, because I see a lot of that shit going on in the trap, what people are calling trap metal, and then what people are calling trap core or just mumble rap stuff.
right.
I see a lot of people go that direction, but it was really interesting to see the direction that you guys take blending both genres, because it's done in a way that like I definitely haven't seen very many bands do it.
Yeah. I'm gonna be straight up honest, because that's what I am. I'm gonna be straight up honest. I fucking hate trapcore because I don't think anybody did it right. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody I felt did it right.
Thanks.
You guys 100% are my favorite trap metal band, and the only trap metal I actually enjoy, honestly.
Thanks, man. Appreciate
Like
it.
it's the same thing with black metal. I'm not a fan of black metal, and then I found a band that I liked. So it's like
Right.
I'm
There's always that one band that's
always
like that
one
breakthrough
band.
brand that
Exactly.
gets you into other shit. And I
Right,
do feel like once
exactly.
Dropout Kings gets the amount of like clout that it really should get, that you guys are gonna definitely be one of those bands where it
Definitely.
has like that Attila type like fan base where it appeals to both audiences.
Oh, fuck, man. I really appreciate that. I needed that boost today. Thank you.
That's it.
Sick.
Yeah, but okay, the Gabber thing though. So he's from some other country. I feel like a total dick that I don't remember, but yeah, so he was just, I met him in a Chango forum, and he was just like a really talented guy, and so like we collaborated like on a few songs, you know, and those like formed into the songs that we have now, and I found people to be in it, you know, and then we started writing songs together and everything, and now it kind of blossomed into what it was once we took that into the studio and did the album, you know. So that's pretty much the origin story, you know. And then yeah, we put out a song, and then we got signed to Napalm, and you know, did an album.
So how did that come about? Were you guys playing shows and stuff at the time?
Dude, honestly, we never played a show once, and that
no
deal
fucking way.
Yeah, and but we did have a show, our first show, like after that, like right after that. It was like a couple weeks after we actually got the deal. But yeah, then we played like 3 shows, and then we went on an OTEP tour after that. We did 3 local. Oh, sorry, I think we also did a short California run with a band called Redeem Revive, and fuck, who was the other band? It was like oh, I had it
right there.
Oh, I can't remember it, but it was like just, you know, a small little Weekend Warrior thing, and then after that we did an OTEP tour that was like 6 weeks long.
Holy fuck! Oh my god!
Yeah, so it took a violent shove into seriousness.
It was about to learn today.
Yeah, pretty much, dude. That's that's really how it was, honestly.
That's a good band for you guys to tour with for your first tour, because their fans are super loyal.
Oh, they really are. And like, man, I swear, like a chunk of our fan base now was really, that tour helped a lot. Because, you know, no one, you know, at the time really knew who we were. So it's like, it was cool just like getting to, like, it's different when it's weird because like when people interact with bands from the internet first, like when they find bands from the internet, but when they find bands from their live performance first, it's like a different kind of.
Oh yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, it's weird. It's hard to explain, but like we got a lot of that from them, and it was cool. You know, like it helped a lot.
It was definitely the same with me and Pat. Well, I don't know about Pat, but definitely with me with Downswing when we saw that.
Because when I think there's something to be said about, like, you know, you could throw anything on your car speakers and it'll sound good for the most part. All right. And then, but going and seeing it live and seeing them do it, like a more raw version of that same song you just heard in the car.
I don't
like
even
it
think
changes.
You played one. I don't even think you played Downswing, Pat, to be completely honest.
I didn't play Downswing on the way there. I showed you every other band that was going to be on that
but
set.
Downswing. You didn't show the main event.
No. You need to see them live. That's your first impression of these guys.
For everybody that doesn't know, Downswing is a local band for us from Albany, New York.
Former Rise Records band, now on Stay Sick. If you're into hardcore, then
definitely
it's going to be
out.
Totally up your alley.
We've talked to the band. We've talked to the band completely before we even started the podcast.
I think we were in like the beginning stages of the podcast, really.
Yeah,
but,
definitely.
Anthony, their guitarist, and I go way back. Like we played shows back in 2010. Like we go way back. But anyway, honestly, like that touring with OTEP is a huge, huge fucking deal, and I can only imagine the kind of stories that you must have from doing that one tour.
Yeah, there was definitely a million stories. It was definitely cool.
Did you have to like pull together a band really quickly, or was the band fully formed by that time?
A little bit of in between, honestly. Like it was fully formed in a sense of like, well, it was weird because we got to backtrack a little bit because like originally we had a DJ and then we also had a different bass player. So there was like one big lineup change of a few people, and really it was because once, like, I really just got a bunch of people initially to be in the video because I didn't know what was gonna happen with this, you know. Like I was just like, I need to put this out, and like if these people want to be in it, they'll be in it, you know. And like I was just like, just help me do this video, you know. And like I'd pick people that I knew, you know, that were cool and all this shit, and like I put them in the video. So like once we got the deal though, and it took like a violent shove into like reality. there's a couple people that couldn't do it. They couldn't sign the deal because one of them had like their own record label that they were doing, and then the other person was already on a record label. So
Oh man.
they both.
Damn.
Yeah, so basically what happens, like, so we had a DJ originally, but he had his own record label, so he couldn't sign the deal, and he wound up moving to New York, and
That's
and then
funny.
yeah, and then I think he lives in Brooklyn actually, and then the other guy, he was a bass player. He was in a band called The More, and they're on Nuclear Blast, I believe, or a subsidiary of Nuclear Blast. But yeah, so they couldn't do it. So basically, so the drummer originally was from the band, the Bad Chapter that I was in previously. And then, so he was already in the band. I had another person in the band named Chucky. He plays guitar. And he was in one of my old bands that I was in, like my old local band called We the Collectors, and he was in that. So I had him, and then Eddie, and then we brought in Stage and Rob from the Bad Chapter as well. So, we kind of like reformed as like this new thing. But yeah.
Yo, I knew that band name when you said We the Collectors. When I was living in Arizona, I remember seeing you guys. Like, I don't remember when, but I definitely saw you guys at one point. That's funny.
Hilarious.
Yeah, because I was living in Arizona from 2013, I think, 2013, 2014.
I didn't know you lived in New York now.
Well, yeah, because I moved like 2 or 3 years ago when I found out I was going to have my kid.
Yeah.
Because you honestly, you can't watch a kid grow up over social media, and I wasn't going to do that to my parents and to Jen. Give the grandparents the first couple of years, and then we'll move back because we both absolutely miss the hell out of Arizona.
Right.
Arizona's a good state.
I don't want you to leave, Patrick. I don't want you to leave.
What part of upstate New York do you guys live in?
He lives up in Troy, like literally like a minute from Albany.
I'm like a minute from the river.
I've been to Albany.
I'm right next to the Hudson right now.
I'm living in a little town called Schuylerville. That is a very small town. Nowhere. Yeah. It's a little town. And I live an hour away from Pat. But we used to work together.
Okay.
That's how we met.
Yeah, that's how we met was through our old job that we used to have in Albany.
That's cool. I like upstate New York because it's almost like a little, like, people when they think New York, they just think the city, and they don't realize, like, bro, upstate New York is like gorgeous.
That's a fact.
Yo, like, when not New Yorkers say that, I feel so satisfied hearing it.
Yeah, it really taught me that. I didn't know that about it either and then I remember we went through Ithaca, and then we went to this place called Buttermilk Falls, and it was like this natural.
Yep.
It was like a natural spring or something from like glacier water that like comes down. I don't know. Someone was telling us that was like a local. I was like, what the fuck? This is crazy. And like in the water, and like your skin just feels so good. And it was like, it looked like the Arrowhead water bottle scene. It was like,
yeah.
Holy shit, dude.
So if any of the listeners haven't been to Arizona, Arizonians get their water from like a couple states away.
Yeah,
it's the middle of the fucking desert.
Yeah, Colorado River.
There you go. And it's really hard. It's really rough water. Like,
oh, it's hard water, bro.
It's really hard to explain it, but
it dries your skin out. Like
as if the sun isn't already doing that enough as it is.
Right. And it's like, so, and a lot of people take a hot shower, so like that dries your skin out too. And then on top of that, the water is what they called like really hard. And so like
there's a lot of like really rough minerals in the water in Arizona.
I don't really know how to define that, but yeah, I think it is that. Yeah, it's just like the minerals are like something. It's fucked up. Basically,
what I remember, the only reason I know that is because I was working in the airport at the time. I was working at a coffee shop called Pete's, and we used to constantly have to change our water filters out like once a month.
Yeah.
And it's like, it was ridiculous.
Yeah. Don't drink the tap water. It's like LA tap water, pretty much.
Facts.
Jesus Christ.
Facts.
Yeah, it's
And
bad.
I thought my fucking trailer park water when I was a fucking kid was bad. Jesus
No,
Christ.
Probably
that
wasn't
was well water, right?
I think it was like mixture of well water. Yeah, I'd have to say well water. Yeah,
well,
definitely.
water's probably decent, I guess.
I mean,
Well water's some shit, man.
I mean,
If you've
yeah,
never
it
had
is.
well
New
water.
York City pizza is the shit because of that, apparently, right?
I would have to say I'm the pizza guy out of both of
boy.
us. I'm the motherfucking pizza guy. I would go to New Jersey 100%.
Oh, really? I've actually never been there. I don't
I'm
think.
telling you right now, it is the cheapest fucking place you can go to.
That's bullshit because Arizona is pretty cheap.
Well, I know Arizona is cheap, but I'm talking about New York.
No, New York slices though in the city were like $1 everywhere I went.
Well, yeah. Well, that's in the city, like Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah,
fucking
that's what
New
I
York
was
City.
saying. I was like, that pizza was fire, dude.
Oh no, I
You
would
had
have to say
grammar-
it is fire, but go to New Jersey. New Jersey's New York style pizza are fucking fantastic.
I gotta
100%.
I'll 100% believe you. I need to try it now.
What was it? What was that fucking place, Pat? It was fucking Poughkeepsie? No, that's New York. That's New York.
Are you thinking about in Pennsylvania?
No,
Are you talking about
Jersey, bro. Jersey, bro. The one with Good Guy Vapes. It was right there.
You're not talking about Goodfellas, right? Or the
No,
one that was
dude.
Goodfellas themed? I have no fucking clue.
I think so, but I can't remember. But it's somewhere in fucking New Jersey, and it's gonna piss me off how I can't remember that fucking place
Well,
in New Jersey.
Thinking about Goodfellas pizza reminds me of the time that I had that Yukon Jack whiskey. That was like my
Jesus.
favorite whiskey for like a month.
Oh yeah, dude.
Until I
fucking
puked it up
remember that.
once and then I never wanted it again.
Yeah, that's like me in Southern Comfort, bro. Like, we used to drink the fuck out of that, and then, like, I threw it up, like, a million times, and I'm just like, I smell it, and I'm just like, ugh.
That's me and Jack Daniels, not even a joke. That's
Yo, me and JD, all right.
Yeah, I'm like that
We're
with
best friends.
Pat,
dude.
Pat. I don't
I
care
love
what you
JD.
say. I don't care what you say. That is not your best friend. He's a prick. He is a prick to you.
He's like actually your worst enemy that like
He
acts
is,
as your best
But
friend.
he won't admit it. He won't admit
Yeah.
it.
So what you're saying is I turn into a complete asshole when I'm drinking Jack.
No, I never said that.
I know there is one liquor out there that does turn me into a straight prick. I just
I
don't
think
remember. If I could call Jen over, she'll tell me. She'll know.
But yeah, I drink Jack 100%. That I don't do that.
Yeah, I'm like with Jaeger. I'm just like, nah.
Jaeger?
Yeah.
Oh my boy, I love Jaeger.
No, I mean like I love it, but I smell it and I'm just like, whew, this reminds me of some bad times.
I drink that shit straight. Not even a joke.
Yeah, that's
There are
actually one
so
of the
many
easier-
episodes where he was just sipping it through like a little glass, like
Yeah, it's like fire. It goes down like Fireball, you know. It's just easy.
I don't think it does. Well, Fireball I can't fuck with. Fireball I can't fuck with.
Oh, I'm about.
Fireball just has too much sugar for me.
Yeah, it really does. Jack Fire though is really good. If you've never had that, it's like an alternative to Fireball, but that is actually really good too. I actually like it better.
All right. So since we're on the alcohol conversation, what beer would you per se that you would absolutely enjoy to drink like all the time, no matter what? What's your go-to beer?
Blue Moon always.
Blue Moon.
Yeah,
Blue Moon's not bad.
It's not bad.
Yeah, I'm not like a giant beer guy. I'm more of like a liquor person. So like beers, I'm just like, bro, this is so fucking much. You know, like it's just always gigantic, and I feel like ass after I drink like 3 or 4 of those. I'm like, fuck, man, like let's just get to the point. Do shots, like, you know.
My favorite shot is a Jaeger bomb, 100%. But,
Yeah, those are fire.
But the problem is, if nobody has ever had a Jaeger bomb, be careful. They are not instant. They are not instant.
They're
Not even close.
Definitely.
No. They are not
Gin is
instant.
like that too with me. Like if you guys
Creeps
have
up on you.
gone on like a little gin fucking binge, dude, that shit will sneak up on you. And I learned that the hard way in my
My
younger
sister
days.
keeps trying to get me to like sit there with a bottle of gin with her, but I just don't like it. I don't like vodka. I don't like most
vodka
light.
either.
I'm into it. I like tequila a lot. Like, that's my favorite thing.
Well, you're in a great place for it, so.
Yeah, straight up.
It's fucking everywhere.
Yeah, it's so good.
I think like listeners, let's just say this. If you don't know, like, I'll tell you my fucking story of fucking Jaeger bombs. I didn't realize it was instant until I was 26 shots deep in Jaeger bombs and didn't even realize it. Not even a joke.
26?
I don't know how I'm alive.
Yeah, you probably should have died that night.
I should have died that night.
Kyle should have died several times by now.
Yeah, that's true. I should have died several times.
9 lives.
Well, if
That
that's
was
the
the
case,
joke.
you're down to like 3 or 4.
I know,
You
bro.
better be careful, bro.
I need to
Still
chill the
probably more
fuck
than
out.
we all got, though.
But definitely. What would you say? Because Pat, you're an IPA guy. What would
yeah.
say your immediate IPA or beer, whichever one that you would go for?
What got me into beer? Or
No,
IPAs?
like you're straight up. This is what I want, and this is the only thing that I want. Like if you see a IPA that you like, and you're like,
Flower Power.
Firepower.
No, Flower Power. It looks like it's like from the 70s. It has like that whole like hippie vibe to it, but it's like 7%, and it's 7%, but the IBUs aren't too high where it kind of like makes it too bitter. It's kind of like it floats right in the middle. It feels like a little bit of like a lager and a IPA. It's got a little bit of both worlds. My man is hitting the bong right on the podcast. Motherfuckers, this is a first. This is a first for the podcast.
Should I not?
I don't give a shit.
We don't give a fuck.
Trust me, we don't. But I will say, if I smoked right now, I would not be able to hold a conversation at all. At all.
I was kind of fucking up in the beginning there.
No, you're good.
Like, whenever I do podcasts, like, I always got to adapt to my surroundings for just like a sec. I'm like, all right. Now we're tunnel vision, you know. Now we're cruising.
Now I'm focused on this right here.
Right.
Yeah.
I have to smoke to function, bro. It's like people take medications in the morning. I'm just like, hey, I gotta wake up, have my coffee. It's like having coffee, right? Yeah. It's like have my coffee, smoke real quick, do my thing.
It's funny you say that though, because there's a coffee mug that I want really bad. It's got a bowl in the handle.
I've seen that. It's fucking epic. And you can you can just hit it while you drink the coffee.
It's a little bowl.
Yeah.
Just enough for breakfast.
Oh, are you talking about smoking weed?
Wait.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I'm the only one.
There, though, I thought you were talking about like a cup that also had like a bowl extension. I was like, but you want to eat like cereal or something?
How am I supposed to eat this?
How would
Me
that
with every big lady I've ever been with. How am I supposed to eat this?
Yeah. It's like,
I'm the only one on this podcast that doesn't smoke anymore.
Sorry for your
That
loss.
anymore part is really important.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
Everybody,
The anymore is very important.
I understand why some people don't, you know? So
I just didn't like the feeling of like having to like feel my heartbeat when I'm trying to fucking go to bed. Like
yeah. Honestly though, you might have been smoking a sativa and it stimulated you, you know, and it's like
Those are my shit.
like, sativas really fuck with me, honestly. Sometimes like certain strains will fuck with my anxiety and I'll be like, you know, then your breathing switches from automatic to manual and you're like,
yep.
you know, like, am I gonna die? Like
That was literally me one night, and I was like, all right, I'm done.
yeah, and
After that, I'm done.
I only smoke sativas, and then after a while, I was just like, fuck, my anxiety's fucking with me.
You know what I just realized? I forgot to answer my own question, what beer I like. I completely forgot.
What is it?
I mean, Pat knows. I drink like almost anything. Minus
I'm
IPAs.
sorry.
Minus IPAs. I mean, right now I'm drinking PBR. I drink.
So I fuck with PBR heavy.
I used to drink Labatt's Blue. I can't drink that anymore. I can't do that anymore. I used to do. Well, I do Bud Light. I do Michelob Ultra. And by the way, for the people that are in upstate New York, I got the hookup for Bud Light. If you guys drink Bud Light, there's a seltzer coming out for Bud Light. It's with black cherry, mango, strawberry, and I think something else, but I'm not sure. But it's basically like the White Claw.
It's a man claw, bro. Bear claw.
That was great.
Yes!
That was great. No, I honestly thought when you were describing it, it sounded like Mike's Hard to me. Or
No,
like the
it's gonna
Smirnoff
be-
Ice things.
Yeah, no. It's gonna be like I used to fuck with those too.
Me too.
But it was more or less it's basically like their a different version of White Claw. Basically.
Right now, I'm fucking with Shiner.
Ooh.
That's a nice lager.
A lager.
A lager.
Lager.
It's got some notes of oak. I couldn't even fucking tell you what this tastes like. It definitely tastes like beer. I'll tell you that. Definitely tastes like beer.
Salty taste to it.
It's like the bottom of a shoe, but like in a good way. Yeah.
Bottom of a shoe, but in the good way.
Yeah. So
Jesus Christ.
let's switch gears here because we did a little bit of alcohol talk. We did a little bit of pro cannabis talk. Fuck you, Kyle.
What the fuck? All right,
fuck.
cool. You
I
know
just
what?
wanna
I'm gonna leave. All right, I'm out.
We'll see him again in a little bit.
Full
He's probably just gonna take a piss.
I'm a professional.
He just SpongeBob memed us right now.
I'm out. Oh man, that's funny. You know, this is one of the few ones that I've done through the Instagram. This interview that I started just from like randomly messaging people on Instagram. I love honestly the power of just straight DMing.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It is.
It's fucking nuts how like good it is. It works so well.
I think the craziest DM that we ever got was like who was it? It was the Sex Cult.
Oh, you're talking about William Control.
Yeah, William Control.
We had him literally share our page on his Twitter. That was pretty sick. That was a nice little bump.
William
Sex
Control.
Cult. We didn't even on that. What's that about?
Let me just so long story short, the guy was accused of running an underage sex cult because he has a lot of underage fans.
That's hey, where the fuck have I heard this? What? Yeah, go on. Sorry.
Did a whole episode on it. That was why he shared it.
Dude.
And I made Kyle so angry.
I
like
was
the entire
so
episode.
like, there's a couple. There's a lot of things that you don't talk about around me, but that is the main thing. It's basically molestation, rape.
Yeah.
That's the main thing I do not enjoy. That's
So
a very
with
touchy
like the recent Lorna Shore stuff. Like he's just been like, can we not talk about that right now?
Like, it's not even like that one was, like that one was kind of.
I feel like I don't know. There's a lot of hearsay involving that, so I kind of want to just wait and see how things shake out. But I do want to see them do like a vocal cover contest like Northlane did to get a new vocalist. That's assuming they don't already have somebody lined up, of course.
They probably do. Do.
I'm sure.
They got people in their pocket for all I know.
Facts.
Yeah. So I don't even remember what my question was, but Kyle,
it was
have
like
anything?
It was the weirdest. You said like the power of DMing people.
Yeah.
Yes. So I honestly don't even remember where I was going with that, to be honest.
But yeah, the power is pretty crazy. Like a lot of like that song. We did a song with Dayshow, and that all really stemmed from a tweet. Like that's all it was. It all started from that, and then it like turned into this whole cool experience, which was cool because I still am. I'm a big Dayshow fan, so like it was cool to like do that. You know, I was like, wow, I never thought that would happen. It was just cool.
Right.
Yeah, it was just cool that it happened. But yeah, that all stemmed from it. I mean, a lot of shit comes from tweets, man, and just like DMing people. The internet's such a powerful tool for good and bad. You know, it's just
Facts.
like that's just what it is. You know, it's like a gun. You determine how it gets used.
Right.
Good or bad. You know, crazy.
Absolutely. So, is it weird that I kind of want to ask where you stand on the gun rights thing?
fuck me.
Sorry, between
No, you're
you
good.
saying that and you wearing camo right now, like that was just
Yeah.
like it kind of happened. I normally don't ask shit like this on the show either.
It's a really what I feel about it is it's a really difficult dilemma with no easy solution because you have things coming on both sides. You know, like you have your amended rights and everything, and it's hard to have a stance when there's just so much data and all this other shit. You know, it's just it's like I don't mind guns. I like shooting guns and stuff, but then at the same time, it's like I know how fucked they are. You know, it's like it's weird.
The damages that they can do.
But at the same time, all it is just an object. Once again, you know, and like if people aren't using guns, they're gonna use something else.
It's the same. Yeah,
maybe better or worse than that, you know. And it's like I would rather be near some good guy with a gun rather than someone without one. But then at the same time, I don't condone gun violence. I think it's all stupid. You know, it's like I don't really like. Yeah, I like shooting guns. I don't own one. You know, it's like it's just. I don't think about it, you know. Maybe that's bad, maybe it's good. Once again, it's hard to. It's one of those things. Hard to put your finger on, you know.
It's also the same with the problem. Yeah, it's also the same with the vaping topic or the epidemic that's going on. Apparently,
you know,
Kyle quit recently.
I am actually 7, almost 8 months with no nicotine at all, so I'm going strong.
Proud of you.
Strong. But when it came to the vaping kind of thing, because I saw that you had a Juul, it was basically like I think it's so stupid how people are going after the vaping products. But the only problem, which people are not realizing, is the CBD oil that's going, the CBD culture, or CBD cartridges that are being smoked.
Mm-hmm.
Which they're not seeing that part. They're just saying it, and then they're like, it's all vaping. It's all vaping.
Yeah. People generalize the fuck out of it. Yeah. And what a lot of people don't realize is like all the pushback just creates like a black market of these cartridges that made and they're not regulated, and those are actually the ones that are leaking into the market, and one bad batch gets out and everybody gets all up in arms about it without seeing the analytical or scientific data behind
because no one's going to actually click an article. They're just going to read the headline and be like, oh, I know what's going on because I read the headline.
And at the same time, listen to fucking adults and realize if you're inhaling anything other than oxygen into your lungs, it's probably going to cause some variable damage. You know, it's like, but you as a human being make that choice, you know, so it's like.
I actually, it was so funny. I actually got into, I would say, a confrontation with a nurse about that, actually, when I just quit. And she you know, the stupid basic talks like, do you smoke? Do you drink? Blah, blah, blah. Right. And I was like, yeah, I used to vape. And she's like, oh, that's really bad for you. I was like, how so? I was like, how so? And she's
where's your source?
Yeah,
who's your source material?
The best part is she was like, well, yeah, the FDA doesn't approve of that stuff. And I looked at her dead in the face and I was like, why do you think it was legal, sweetheart? And she looked at me dead. She was like, well, the FDA. I was like, well, the FDA, I don't think you realize, has to accept all this shit. Like, if you wanted to make, like, my buddy makes juice for nicotine for the vaping. And he's like, you have to go through the FDA. 100% you have to go through the FDA.
Yeah, because it's human consumption, you know?
Yeah. And she's like, that doesn't make any sense because I saw in the news on Fox News. And I was like, get the fuck out of my room. And she immediately was like, wow.
So, Kyle, I got to ask about this nurse you had in your room. So, was there more to this story?
No, it wasn't like the fucking cop that I got pulled over for. It wasn't like that. But no, it was I think the whole I'm not against vaping because it helped me quit. So I'm not against it at all.
Why I do it now. Like I used to smoke a pack and a half a day. And I'm just like,
that's brutal.
Fuck what people say. I just feel like this is a lot better for me than smoking a pack and a half. Bro.
Exactly.
That's all I'm
It
saying.
also helps
But,
to quit. Too.
It sucks though, because at the same time we face like a lack of years of studies, like that, like we have with smoking thing, and it's almost like there's a lot of things, that we're just like, even social media, like we're just going through it. We don't know if it's good or bad. We're just like, here it is. This could fuck us forever. Yeah. This could be good,
Like, I don't think people realize that 150 years ago, we were still colonizing our nation. Like, we're so adolescent as like a species.
Yeah, it's true. And it really made me realize how young like America is in particular. Is I went to Rome. Yeah. I went to Rome a couple years ago, and I'm just like looking at everything, and there's shit that's from like 5 or 6 AD. Like there's this one thing called the Pantheon, and it's like the first dome ceiling ever built. I had never heard of it before I went there, but it actually turned out to be the thing that impressed me the most, because like just like the fucking like the math that it takes to like build it. I'm like, this is 5 or 6 AD, like 8, like so many times older than anything you see in America, and we call shit historic here. That was from like the 70s. I'm like, they have churches that were like pagan churches from like fucking like, it's crazy, dude.
That's literally how I feel about all of Albany. Like so much of Albany is claimed historic, and it's just red brick. Like just fucking knock it down. The city looks like shit.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, it reminds me of like it's a overgeneralized hoarder situation where it's like they get
oh my god, yes,
things. They're like, no, I need it. It's like, bro, that's a bucket with a fucking hole in the side of it. You can't, like,
I can make that right now, bro. Yeah. Give me a bucket.
Yeah, but a lot of the time they just leave a lot of shit because it's almost more expensive to like tear it all down than to do anything. So they're like, we're just gonna leave it.
I'm afraid of the initial cost. I don't want to think about how much money it'll save me in the long term.
Dude, in Arizona, we have this. People tell me two different things. People tell me it was a horse track, and people tell me it was a dog track. But it was built in the 80s, and they built it with like a futuristic theme in mind. So you look at it, and it looks fucking like nothing you've ever seen before, like from a building. It's like weird. But it wound up failing because they built out in the middle of nowhere, and it was before Arizona was really like more developed. So at the time, I mean, we were like one of the last states to get added. So it's like it was so desolate. So it's like there wasn't a lot of people out where they built it, and then just the cost of them like driving freight out there back and forth and like, all this shit. It's failed. I don't even think they ever had one race there, and it's just abandoned. It's abandoned there. And I think they're about to finally tear it down, but it's been there ever since, like, ever. Like, I remember as a little kid driving past it on occasion. I'm like, what is that? And then just years later, it's just, like, still the same. It's just abandoned, and, like, it's super creepy. Like, they found bodies in there. Like, it's fucked.
Brutal.
Yeah, whenever I was, like, 17 or so, me and a couple friends, like there's this big ass fence around it and stuff, but like we found like this break in the fence, and like we went through it, and we went in there at night, and we had like flashlights and like all this shit.
That reminds me, Pat. That reminds me of that mill that I showed you that I live near.
Yo, fucking facts.
Yeah.
So let me ask you something really quick, because we're talking about abandoned buildings and shit. You know where Van Buren is, right?
Yeah, I live right by.
No shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you know where the trying to remember the name, Valencia Park Apartments?
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's where I was living when I lived in Arizona. If you go down that road past the Cumbies, that house that's like super abandoned, that like only homeless people really go into, is that fucking building still there? That's what I'm wondering. Because they've been.
Is it the house?
It's like was like all painted black. Like someone bought it out years ago, and they were gonna like do something with it. It's right next to that bridge, that stretch of highway.
Fuck, I'm trying to think of what you're talking about. I'm gonna look into that because I actually don't know if I'm familiar with what you're talking about.
Because I want to say like the mail.
Sound familiar?
I don't remember if it's USPS, but there's there's a postal office right down the road or right on that road.
Bro, I
on
bet
that same stretch of road.
fucking driven past it a million times.
Yeah. Well, I used to walk past it. I used to walk to work every day. I used to walk from Valencia Park Apartments all the way to the airport, which was like a 45-minute walk, but I used to do that every day. Of course, I'm checking out the eyesore, seeing if any crackheads are going to come out, try to stab me for some meth. I don't know.
Just another two.
Yo, that reminds me of the one time I went in that mill, bro. The first time I went in that mill, bro, there was a fucking homeless guy. I had no fucking idea. This was fucking years ago. Fucking.
That poor guy.
Well, no, it wasn't poor guy. It was fucking poor me and the couple of friends that I was hanging out with. But it was more or less like, I can't even remember what the fuck it was, bro. But it was like, we were just checking it out. And it wasn't as graffitied as it was in my profile pictures on Facebook. Or the pictures that we took, me and my sister. But we went in there like fucking complete darkness. So we just had like our flashlights on our phone. So we're just sitting there and we're like kind of chilling, whatever. We're like, oh, this is cool, blah, blah, blah. And meanwhile, listeners, that my grandfather and my grandmother worked there when it was running.
Damn.
Yeah, dude, it's like old as shit. Like that is old as shit. But I don't want to get too into the history of that. But it got to a point where we're just sitting there, we're making noise because we're fucking kids. So we're just like making fucking noise and smashing shit, you know, just regular fucking adolescent kids.
Right.
And this fucking guy's like fucking yells, like the craziest fucking yell, dude, I've ever fucking heard. Get the fuck out of my home! And fucking ran towards, bro, I never ran so motherfucking fast. I never ran.
I've never wanted to test my gutturals inside of an abandoned building more than the moment that you just told that story.
Yeah.
I was like, yo.
Dude, and in the abandoned building I was talking about, if you shine a light up, it's fucking covered in bats.
Oh,
that's pretty sick.
It's fucking crazy.
You know what was the funniest thing? I don't know if I told you, Pat, but in that mill where we took my profile pictures and shit like that, we got to the floor was collapsing, so it was like the third floor. So in the middle of the room where all the machinery and stuff used to be, I should say, it was collapsed. So we had to go around the circle practically to get to the corner of all the shit. And we got into the middle, and there was a big fucking pentagram with fucking candles, and there was a dead fucking bird and shit. And my sister,
amateur Satanists trying to get some shit done.
Funny. It was so funny because my sister, like, I didn't even realize it was there. I'm not even joking. I didn't even realize it was there. My sister, like, walked up to him and was like, pentagram, and kept walking. That's exactly what she said. Pentagram, and kept walking. Like, same girl. Shit. But yeah, dude, like, that abandoned mill is definitely, it's got some fucking history, dude. It's got some definite history.
That's pretty crazy. Do you ever hear, whenever you lived in Arizona, do you ever hear about the Galileo's house?
No.
It was like, I think it's in Peoria. We went there once, but it's supposed to, like, this guy, like, killed his, like, family and then himself or something in it. It's supposed to be, like, all haunted and it's, like, all abandoned.
In Peoria.
Yeah.
That's such a beautiful city. Like, it's hard for me to imagine that.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I guess they're making a movie on it or something.
That's dope.
Or like a documentary or some bullshit.
That sounds like fucking my hometown that I live in now. Like, it's such a beautiful little town, and fucking crazy shit has happened.
Fucked up shit happens everywhere.
That's a fact. All right, we are completely off topic.
Yes, we absolutely are. Like always.
Like
Listeners,
always.
I apologize. We always completely derail any train of thought that we had going into this.
Because that's why you're listening.
I hope.
Yeah, we hope.
For the bullshit.
It's all off the top, baby.
So, how would you say the scene in Arizona has reacted to your band? Like, do you guys play local shows and stuff?
Not often. But you know, we will on occasion if it's been like a long time, you know, and it seems like the right time. I like doing it before tours too, because it's a really good like morale boost. You feel good. You like it's almost like a farewell party too from like all the homies and like the family and like all that shit. They're like later, you know, and like you get to see all your people before you leave. So I like doing that before like a big tour. And it also helps just like bankrolling it a little bit too, you know, because everybody wants to help you out, and it's like all of that really goes a long way, especially like if you have a long drive like at first, you know, it just helps you. Like everyone, you know, everybody's just so supportive, you know. So I like doing stuff like that. Like if we do a local show, it'll usually be before. But yeah, I feel like the scene, you know, like it was mixed at first. I feel like some people like were weird about it, but for the most part, I feel like everybody was like really supportive of the band, you know.
Yep. Because I remember, like, I've definitely heard some very interesting rap-inspired groups that have come out of Arizona. And so when I first discovered that this band was in Arizona, I was like, wait, that's interesting. I'm noticing a trend here. So I don't know if that's something that you noticed before going into this or after, or if that's just me connecting dots that don't exist.
I really was like when I was making this band, I really felt like I saw a wave coming of like new metal and like rap rock stuff, and I felt like that was like the next wave, because like the wave I saw before that was like bands like Neck Deep and like fucking you know who Modern Baseball, you know, like bands like that were like really fucking killing it, and then it started shifting, and like, you know, I just felt it, you know, like people were starting to drop stuff that was kind of like that. I'm like, yeah, like they're gonna be into this, you know, and I just felt like it was the right time, because like there's been a void for a little while, you know, and like it hasn't been, and like, you know, like that genre type kind of gets like a bad rep, because like you were saying, you know, like you don't like a lot of that shit because, you know, people don't do it well a lot of the times, you know. So it's like, it's just, you know, because I feel like the problem is people are trying to fit themselves into like they're like a square peg trying to go into a round hole, you know. It's like you just got to do your own thing.
Yeah.
You know, like don't try to
I definitely felt that.
Like have an idea in mind, like, yeah, I want to be rap rock. Like that doesn't mean you have to specifically do certain things, but you know, it's like just kind of have your own. That's like the thing I try to explain to people is like, in like anyone that wants to do like music especially, is like you gotta have something to say. Like that's the only thing that makes you different, you know. Like that movie fucking fuck, what's that movie called with like Lady Gaga and fucking
Oh Jesus Christ.
A Star Is Born, right? So dude,
I believe so.
Dude, in that movie though, you know, they talk about like it's all the same 12 notes. The only thing that like the artist has to really offer is like how they arrange those 12 notes. You know, it's like how do they see it? You know, like you gotta have something to say, you know, and it's so true. It's like you really do. So it's like that's really what you gotta carry forward, and like you can really make a difference if you just do that, you know, and I feel like that's why people resonate with our band a lot. You know.
So you know where I'm gonna go with this then. Is what does Dropout Kings have to say? What's your guys' big message?
I mean, like a lot of people think like the name stems from like being like a dropout of like school and stuff.
And I can see why people would draw that line.
Yeah, the worst part is I honestly thought that, and I was like, you know what? I don't think this is it, but
yeah,
that was my first thought.
It's all, but that's the cool part about it is it's all everybody's individual representation of it, which I think is interesting, you know, because people draw different meanings, but like it's really about just like dropping out of like mainstream society, and like, you know, like ever since I was really young, I always felt like I didn't fit into society really well. I didn't integrate well. Like I did well in school, and you know, like I didn't like causing huge issues, but I was very rebellious when it came to like when I started getting older, and I'm like, fuck dude, I don't want to like do these bullshit jobs and like all this other shit. Like I'm gonna be unhappy like my whole life, you know. So like really what we try to do is just like fucking take all that shit. Like, everyone has those feelings, you know, and like I like to talk about my experiences, and I try to be really relatable in like what I do, like what I say in a lot of these songs, you know. So it's like, you know, it's all about just fucking, it's like we've all been there, you know. It's like everybody just wants to have somewhere to belong, and like we like to facilitate that type of community, you know. And it's like we just want to be like that community that people go to when they're like, they're happy, they're mad, they're sad, you know. It's like, and I like forming personal relationships with like a lot of our fans. Like, we try to be really responsive to anything that's not just like blatant bullshit, like hater comments or whatever, you know. It's like, but if, I mean, and it's few and far between we get that, you know. It's like, it's a lot of like people that just want to be a part of something, you know, and that's pretty much what it is. It's like we want people to feel like they're a part of that. But yeah, it's kind of what we're about. We're all fucked up, but hey, we got music, yeah. You know, and I hope people take shit from the music and, you know, realize like you're not alone in the, like, you know, you're not the only obviously a lot of people know this, you're not the only one that hates your job, but this, like, if you could give someone an anthem that they can listen to for that day, it's like perfect, you know. Like, that's how you really help people, you know, because it's a transfer of energy. That's all I could offer you, and you can offer me. It's all it is, you know.
Yeah.
Weird. That's like even like the live concert thing, you know, it's different because it's an exchange of energy, you know, to a stronger degree than just like hearing it, you know.
Yeah.
But that's my take.
Honestly, I thought that was very well said.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. That's definitely well said.
Appreciate it.
I mean,
off the top, baby.
on the top. We freestyling this bitch real quick. But yeah, definitely. I'm definitely a fan of you guys 100% in the trap metal.
It's interesting to see where that idea is going, because I think it's safe to say you guys aren't the only ones doing it. You're not the only ones who had the idea, and you know that. So it's interesting to see like all the variations of it. I kind of differ from Kyle in the sense that while I might not like everything that's trap metal or trap core, I like how experimental it is, and that's what's so exciting about this time in music.
Yeah,
you know,
there's something coming, and like people slept on emo rap for a long time.
And that's our fucking shit. I'm not even gonna lie,
dude, bro.
That's my shit.
Real.
I love it.
Yeah, I feel you. Like Nothing Nowhere. You guys fuck with that?
I do fuck a little bit with Nothing Nowhere.
Yeah.
I don't like a lot of the mainstream ones like Triple X Tentaction or even like Lil Peep, or
I fuck with
the most recent Juice WRLD. I never really fucked with those guys.
We fuck with Josh A, Lil Revive.
Josh A is sick.
Oh my God, Josh A. He's been my boy throughout this couple of weeks. I'm not even gonna lie. I've been listening to Josh A 100% all the time.
Yeah, do you like Jake Hill and stuff?
Jake Hill? Oh my God, we love.
It's hard to like one but not like the other because their careers are so intertwined.
But yeah, no, they're both really sick. I even like, you know, like Zilla Kami is like fucking sick too. You know, like it's cool because like with the trap metal thing, there I've noticed like there's like a divergence. Like you can either go on the more metal side of it, or you can go the more rap side of it with like the heavier, almost scream-like vocals. You know, but obviously there's no. But that's just what I've noticed so far. Is like
it's weird that like there are some artists that try to literally take everything that's trap and then make it metal. So like the distorted breakdown beat, but with just 808s.
Yeah,
like it. There's some really interesting ideas that people are putting out there, and I want to see where that's going to go.
You know, and like as for me, like if you turn everything into a competition, you're going to fucking hate life. You know, like it's more like it's becoming normalized. You know, like when I started seeing like more and more things pop up, you know, like people will be like, you know, all this competition, blah, blah. It's like, dude, people don't have to like just one band. You know, they can like a lot of people like Linkin Park. They like Bring Me the Horizon. Like now they sound more similar than they used to. Obviously,
facts.
Like you know, like they're Bring Me the Horizon drew a lot of influence from Linkin Park. You know, like a lot of people do. but I do, you know, like, but at the same time, there's a reason why people want to listen to that over this, you know, but they'll also listen to both, you know, like, it's not competition. It's like, I mean, it is, but it's also a friendly rivalry slash, like, just like a network of people. Like,
Right.
and once I got into the industry deeper, I realized everyone fucking knows each other. Everybody knows each other. It's
Absolutely.
like crazy, dude. Like the law of thirds, you know, is like a real thing. Like fucking yeah,
That's interesting to hear you say that.
Yeah.
Because I've definitely thought that for a while, but I've never really like put too much thought into it.
Well, dude, like there's people that have meetings, like there's powerful people up there that, you know, they're just like, we're gonna make these 5 bands pop this year, you know, like that kind of shit really goes. You know, it's like they just, and they all, you know, they're all fucking buddies. You know?
Music politics. Music politics.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it's whatever. It's
in every industry, no matter what. Politics is in every industry. It doesn't matter.
Everyone's got to play the game to some degree.
Exactly.
You just got to be smart, you know?
Wait a minute, this isn't real. There's not really a rapper out there that just goes by goth. What the? Sorry, I was gonna go through my trap metal playlist and see if there was any artists in particular that you like know or anything like to that effect. But when I saw that, I was like, no way. There's not in recommended songs. I was like, there's actually an artist that goes by goth. That's kind of fucking cool, I guess. No, but I was gonna say that there's 3 main hip hop artists that I really do fuck with. That's Gizmo, Suicide Boys, and Ghostmane. Like those are my 3 right there. Like I like really dark and like really eerie shit.
Yeah, I really
whether it's trap metal or hip hop.
Yeah, it was cool because we played the Gathering of the Juggalos and Ghostmane's fucking. I think we had his trailer was the one from the night before, and it was ours the next day, I think, or it was the one right next to us or something like that. It was like right by us. It was next to us. But yeah, it was fucking crazy though. But yeah, nah, and then he was like just chilling and stuff. But yeah, dude, like he seems pretty cool. But yeah, nah, I really fuck with Ghostmane and Suicide Boys for sure.
It's weird seeing Ghostmane's career now because he's going so much more like industrial / hardcore.
It's sick. I mean, then he put out like a hardcore EP or something.
Yeah,
that was pretty dope. You know,
it wasn't my favorite of his stuff, but I got to admit, like that's a ballsy move to be.
Yeah, it is. It just shows you how like in control of his own music he is.
Facts.
Yeah, but
so I wonder what's the creative process like for Dropout Kings.
So we usually try to start it off with a beat, and then I'll put vocals to it, and then we'll write the guitar and the drums around that, and then either I will start a song or Eddie will. We kind of switch off, you know. Eddie will write like 5 songs, I'll write like 5 songs, and then like we'll collaborate from that, you know.
That's an interesting dynamic, though. I think that's like really slept on is like the 2 frontman thing. A lot of really great bands are fronted by 2 people, and that kind of gets an unnecessary amount of hate sometimes. Is there ever any kind of like, I guess, struggle between the 2 of you over writing?
No, dude.
I love that response. That was so.
Yeah,
that was awesome. He was like, "Hell no."
Our
fuck no.
Dynamic is really good. Honestly, it's really healthy. Like, and you know, it's like we tell each other like, "Hey, what are you feeling on this song?" I'm like, "I'm thinking about writing it about this," you know. And then they're like, "Yeah, I fuck with that." And then it's like, I'll start writing stuff. It's like as long as we have a subject in mind,
right?
You know, it's like then you just play off that, and it's, you know, it just fucking works. Like we're fortunate in that aspect, you know. No one has like too big of a head to be like, nah, you know. Like we all know everybody's just trying to get this product out there, you know.
Yep, he's probably talking to his little kid. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Fuck. I just had a question, and my ass forgot it. Fucking damn it. My dumb ass forgot it. Fuck. God damn it. He'll probably. You can honestly say anything right now, and he'll probably remix it. That's not even a fucking joke. Because he's done it to me numerous times. Fuck. What the fuck was I talking about? Or what was I thinking about? Fuck.
I don't know.
I know! This fucking pisses me off. God damn it.
But yeah, that's pretty much the whole writing process, though. You know, kind of just do
Yeah.
that. And then we'll try to go through stuff and, like, just figure out dynamics, you know, like, try to balance out the songs, you know. We try to, like, but then at the same time, we like to change it up, you know. There's sometimes, like, we try to make it have like equal parts, but then, like, we really want to show, like, there's a reason why there's two vocalists, you know, like, so we try to do things over each other. So it's like you have to have two people to do it, you know, like it can't just be one person. It's got to be both. It's like we try to do stuff like that. But then there's sometimes where, like, yeah, Eddie will just, you know, lead the way on this song, or, like, you know, like, I'll write, like, a hook and a verse, and, like, you know, now I'm carrying this one a little more, you know, but then we'll try to balance it out and, like, put over, you know, my stuff over him, you know, because it was interesting, like, one time on, like, I try to be, like, really analytical, and I like to try to quantify as much data as I can, get as many data points as I can. So, like, I like to, like, it's weird because when you're trying to market something, like, you know, like, I'm marketing my band, like, / brand, you know, it's a product, and you have to look at it as a product, because it's a business, you know, like, I wouldn't be able to have an LLC for the band if it wasn't a business, you know, like, it is that. So it's like, when I'm doing that, it's like, when you're marketing something, it's really easy to get in the mindset of, like, you're marketing it. Like, sometimes the end user gets kind of left behind on that, because, like, you're in the mindset of marketing it, but not the one listening to it or receiving it. So, like, I like to ask things to the audience, like, hey, how did you guys find us? You know, like, you know, like, shit like that, because a lot of the times you'll find, like, the end user response is different than what you thought, you know, like, hey, maybe more people found you on Spotify this year than Facebook, but you're putting all of your resources into Facebook, you know, and, like, these are things I would have never learned if I didn't ask the end user, you know, what it was. But it was just, interesting, like, a lot of the things that you'll find. And, like, another thing was, like, what do you like about, another thing I asked was, like, what do you like about our what do you like about our band over other bands that are similar to us? You know, it was something along those lines. And then it was interesting, the things that we, like, the responses we got, because, like, we didn't think the whole two vocals thing, like, it was weird. We never really thought about it that much, you know. It's like, yeah, it's different, but it was just how it was from the beginning, so we didn't think anything of it. But so many people were like, I really like how there's, like, a dynamic of two vocalists, and, like, one's from, like, hip hop and one's from, like, metal. So then it's like seeing that and, like, the dynamic of that and, like, the live performances of that, because it's, you know, like, two people have more energy than one, so
absolutely,
you know, you can do a lot more, but and not get tired, so you can be hype, like, the whole time. But,
I definitely remember my question, by the way. Definitely remember my question. I completely forgot about it as we went into this. But are you guys planning on more, or are you in the midst of more content coming out?
Yeah.
And I won't ask when, and I won't do that, but I'm pretty hyped, not even gonna lie.
Yeah.
New content.
It's not gonna be, it's still a little while, but it's not, like, a long time.
Okay.
Yeah, it's soon. It's gonna be soon.
Well, I figured it had to be kind of soon, because the page, the Instagram page, looks brand new.
Yeah.
Just that one picture and everything. So I could tell when I saw that, I was like, oh, something's coming.
Yeah,
definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, listeners, keep patient.
Your fucking
right?
eye out, okay?
Keep your fucking eye on it.
It's like, it's one of those things where I just wish I could just release everything, but it's like, you just can't.
That's the struggle of being an artist, man.
There's so many hoops you have to jump through, and, like, a lot goes into it, you know? It's not as easy as just pressing upload, but I wish it was. You know,
I mean, that's what DistroKid's for.
Yeah, DistroKid is sick though.
If the listeners don't know what I'm talking about, just Google different ways of submitting your music to every platform. You'll find that DistroKid is the way for you if you just want to pop off singles every other day.
Right, and it is as easy as just doing that on DistroKid, but you know, if you want to gain traction and you want to gain an audience that are diehard for you, you know, it's like
you have to market yourself like you would market anything else.
At the same time, dude, it's weird, like, because everybody wants to fall into like fads of things. It's really hard not to, you know, like everybody does, you know, we're all the same, but at the same time, it's weird, like your biggest worst enemy is you, like, because like another thing I think about is, if you ever look up like what the most popular superhero is, like try to guess like what do you think it is?
If I had to take a wild stab at it, I would say Superman.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. It's either Superman or Batman. It's one of the two.
Yeah.
But the thing is not now, because Marvel has completely consumed all superhero culture.
I would totally think that too, like Superman, but it's actually Spider-Man.
And
I get that.
It's like
I should have fucking said that.
Yeah.
Oh my
God.
God.
But you think about like why is that? Like why Spider-Man?
Kids love it.
He's a regular.
Kids eat him up.
Yeah, he's a regular fucking guy. He never had superpowers. He was kind of nerdy. No one really liked him. A lot of people can relate to that. Like that's what it boils down to, is people can relate to Spider-Man. So there's an emotional bond there with Spider-Man. He's like me. Like I'm like him. You know, like you can't relate to Superman. He's from fucking a different.
Yeah, true.
You know, he's like, you know, it's like you're not weak to kryptonite. Like, how are you gonna emotionally attach to being weak?
And and then if you want to relate to Batman, your parents gotta get killed in front of you.
Yeah, and you're not a billionaire, you know.
Yeah, and you're not a billionaire. Yeah,
I don't think billionaires are fucking with Batman. They're too busy like controlling oil fields and things like that. But yeah, you know, there's just like what I'm getting at though is like it's like you press upload and you get your music out there, but then you also hit them with like why the fuck should they listen to you or care? You know, it's like, and you gotta have those two things. That's why it's easy and hard at the same time. It's easy to not. I mean, and it is like once again, it's easy and hard because it is easy to upload music and get it out there, but then it's hard to get those people to give a fuck, you know? Like that's the hardest thing.
Like, I listened to this one song. Yeah, that's a dope song. Forgets about it and goes right back to Facebook or Instagram.
Yeah, you know, and it's like as someone that's trying to market something, like you got to think like what is going to divert this person's attention from like scrolling this news feed, because like 80% of people are probably going to find it through this medium. You know, so it's like, what can I do to like get them to stop scrolling? Like, you know, and like it's crazy. Like, there's so much science that goes into it, and I like get off on that shit. Like, I love it because I love learning about how
this is Matt's world right here.
Yeah, I love how like just knowing how people work, you know, because it helps, you know, especially in business. Like, if you know how people work, then you're gonna be able to, you know. Like,
and you fucking get it, like,
you know, it's a dog world out there, and like as an artist, like you want to be able to fucking protect yourself too. And it's like we all have an angle, and you know, it's like my angle is like I want to be successful, and I want my friends to be successful, and like I want to have a good time doing it, and I want to make friends, and I don't want to make enemies. But once you start getting deeper into stuff, like people will make enemies with you for no reason, you know, and it gets crazy. So it's just like. You learn to be nice, but not too nice. You know, and that was hard. That was hard for me because I don't like confrontation, but at the same time, I won't back down from it either. You know, but I just don't like being that guy. I don't like having people mad at me. You know, like I just fucking hate that. So it's like I try not to be, but yeah, after a while, you start learning to be wiser. You know, wish everybody could get along, but it's just not that.
I learned that.
It's really important to start picking your battles.
Yeah,
it's really important.
Battles for sure, man. And try not to burn bridges. You know, that's another thing that's like really hard not to do. But like even whenever I have fallouts with people, I'm like, look, man, like, hey, this happened. I'm sorry. Like, I was in the wrong. You were in the wrong. Like, it is what it is. But, like, I don't want you to hate me. It's like, I don't hate you. It is what it is. And let's just leave it at that. Like, I'm not going to say anything bad, about you. And, just, like, that's, like, always how I try to do, like, aftermath cleanup, after something like that. It's, like, just try to make sure everybody's cool. Because fuck having enemies, man. Because, like I said, everyone knows each other, bro. You make one person mad, all of a sudden 10 people are mad and nobody fucks with you. And now you're, not getting shows, or you're not getting this or that. So
you're blacklisted from this and that.
Yeah.
It's funny how that whole shit.
Yeah.
How easy it is to just say one wrong thing.
Yeah, man.
And everything crumbles.
Yep.
But
crazy.
I'm gonna bring up something that kind of goes the opposite direction of that. I just noticed, because I decided, I was like, you know what, fuck it, let's go to his Instagram profile real quick. I noticed you guys won an award recently.
Mm-hmm.
Let's celebrate that for a minute. Let's talk about that. What happened?
Yeah. It's cool because it was like an Arizona mixtape award thing, and like we played like the Arizona Hip Hop Festival, and like it's pretty much like and it was like kind of like a similar, same people that run that basically. But yeah, we got like best alternative rock artist of the year.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it was cool though. It was just like a little Arizona thing, but it was cool. It was nice receiving like the love from the hometown and everything. And it's cool because it's like it's just tells me it's what I always wanted with the band, and I wanted like people that like hip hop to fuck with this, and I also want people that like metal to fuck with it too. It's like I wanted to be like a good mid level, or and like that's why like on the album, if you notice, like there's heavy songs, there's lighter songs.
Yep.
It's like we scattershot it. Like I wanted there to be something for everybody, and like if you don't like this song, you'll probably like this song. If you don't like this song, you'll like this song. And
so if we haven't mentioned it yet, the album is audio dope, and just slap it from front to back, because it's a waste of time just picking song titles that sound cool to use. Just slap it from front to back. Don't think about it. Just play it. Listen to it from front to back, and you'll be surprised. Also, I love the Dropout Kings audio or artist radio on Spotify. There's just so much different type of shit on that. Like if you're a person who is a fan, honestly, like if you actually do listen to everything, like, and you're not just saying that so that you don't have to avoid confrontation. You got like Victims, Fever 33, Cane Hill, Dayshell, Currents, Conform, who we just talked about on last episode.
Oh yeah, we did that song with them.
Conform?
Yeah, we were on that Luxury. I was on that Luxury Letdown song.
Holy shit! Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I'm trying to find that because like we just discovered this band and we were talking about it the other day.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
They're like Conform, but with two like Japanese characters or something.
Yeah.
Luxury Letdown?
Yeah.
Yo, and it doesn't have your name on it. You should say something about that.
Does it not?
Nah, dude. It's a cool picture. I like the picture, but it don't got anybody's name on it, so.
Oh shit, that's wild.
No, but I got to admit, we were big on that track. We definitely hyped it last episode.
Yeah, like there's this, I forget what part it is, like 30 stitch in my chest, no hit, burn my money, bitch, and it's like this like scream part. But yeah, that was me on there.
That's fucking cool.
Right.
Yeah.
You heard it here, guys. You heard it here.
But on YouTube, I think it has my name on it. Someone probably fucked up when they uploaded it to Spotify. But yeah, good thing we brought it up. I didn't know that.
Well, the other thing is just that there's a lot of loopholes when it comes to that, and I'm seeing that like Spotify's starting to get their shit together when it comes to that. Like claiming like now you can see what label you're on when you're looking at someone's like albums and stuff like that. You scroll all the way to the bottom and you can see what label they're on. Yeah. I heard that soon they're going to be doing a thing where you can see what producer or what audio engineer did, like who mastered it, who mixed it, and who like did what, and then you can go and see what else they've worked on, which is supposed to be like a huge move. Because I listened to, I'm not sure if you're familiar with this, but the Six Figure Home Studio podcast. They're sick. They have a lot of different like cool marketing strategies that they talk about, and just like because they're the kind of people that are like, okay, we're in the music industry, but we're going to take inspiration from everything else, every other side of business. So they have a lot of interesting things that they talk about, and one of the things they mentioned was that. And so I really look forward to that because
I support the fuck out of that.
You're going to see Joey Sturgis everywhere, first of all. But it's going to be great, especially for smaller artists that are like, hey, I like this band. How can I sound like that band? Let me find out who did the mastering and all of the mixing for that. And I'm going to just go down that rabbit hole. So that's going to be great for artists coming up. I hope they do that.
Yeah. And like, it's funny though, because like so many people bitch about Spotify, and it's like, yeah, like the pay thing, like they need to figure that out for sure. But at the same time, it's like that platform, you know, it's like, I mean, if it didn't work, people wouldn't upload their music to it, you know? Like, that's it's done a lot for us, you know? Like, just how you were saying, like, the Dropout Kings radio. Bro, I found so many people have found us through, like, Fever 333 radio or, like, fucking...
Or, like, different playlists and stuff like that.
Right. And
playlisting is so huge right now.
I'll tell anyone that's a musician that's, like, maybe like just starting out or whatever, playlisting is the most fucking important part of releasing a single, dude. Like, Absolutely. If you can get your playlisting on lock, it will do well. Like, YouTube's great. It's you got to look at it as all outlets. It's not the end all be all. It's like, how many outlets can you gather together and put out, and, you know, really put some effort into it, you know, because the more outlets you have, the more feelers that you have out there for people to find you. You know, like,
that's my current struggle, because I do the podcast, I mix and edit everything and get it ready to upload, and then I do all the like Instagram work and stuff like that. So like I'm trying to find like what's the easiest way for me to maximize what I'm doing with the minimal amount of work, because I do so much.
Yeah, 80-20 ratio, bro.
Right now that 80 is Instagram.
Yeah. Yeah, well, just make sure you're not spending 80% effort to get 20% result, you know? Find a way you optimize it where it's like it's 20% effort, but you're getting 80% result. And I know that sounds crazy, but, like, once you start figuring it out, like, it seriously works so well. Like, but, yeah, that is hard, dude. It's just, yeah, marketing it's hard, you know? And just, like, fucking getting out there, and like I was going back to from earlier, is like getting people to care is like really hard, like especially like so much content people can just eat all day on, you know? It's like, why, you know, at least it's like, how come they're gonna click on this, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, that's what I always think, like why that's what I always
one of my favorite things that I just discovered like 2 weeks ago, and I discovered it from Lucrexia, who, if you haven't heard our interview with them, check them out, because they are, if you're a fan of anime and prog and gent, that shit's going to be right up your alley. Great.
They're also coming out with a brand new album pretty soon. They're working on it, 2020. And I've also heard their new announcement maybe in March, I believe.
You heard it here. But one of my favorite things that I
might be wrong. Don't quote me. I might be wrong. Don't quote me.
One of my favorite things that I learned from them is this little link tree thing where, like, you click one link and it opens up a link to everything. I love it. I love it.
Fucking unsung hero.
It is. And the fact that it's a free service and you can pay for extras, that's like, that's where it's at, dude.
It really is. Linktree's so good.
It's the small stuff, man.
It really is, man.
Honestly, since I discovered that, our listeners doubled. And then since I started actually plugging a picture of our Snapchat with whatever episode is most recent, ever since that, then our listens doubled. Like, honestly, guys, there's a lot of strategies out there.
Yeah.
Just keep trying shit.
And I learned like 70% of people that didn't interact with your ad was probably just because they didn't understand how to get to it, or it wasn't optimized simple enough for them to just do it with one click. You know, like sometimes like it's fun to be cryptic, but like at the same time there's a time and a place, you know, and it's like when you get someone to fucking click on something for you, it's like you gotta, and like I try to give people incentives to do things, you know? I'm like, hey dude, if you guys fucking get this to like 1,000 reacts, like someone's getting the fucking free shirt and the signed poster and like
there you go.
flash drive with a couple videos of us just being stupid. You know, like those are the things, you know, and like, cause that's the kind of shit people want to see. You know, it's like back to the Spider-Man thing is like you have to be like relatable. Like people want to see who you really are. Like especially on Instagram, like everybody's trying to look like they're living like this crazy glamorous life, but like a lot of times people can't really relate to that. You know, like a lot of people are just living a normal life. You know, and it's like you can't Instagram yourself taking a shit. You know, no one's gonna.
But, well, I mean.
I mean, you can.
I mean, you can. A lot of people do their selfies from the toilet.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, you can't. It's still a niche, you know. There's probably a market included somewhere. But, you know, at the same time, it's like people really cling to, like, think of, like, all the other figures, like even Jesus. Like, people relate to him a lot because he was, like, a normal person, you know? Like, he was just a normal dude. He was, like, a carpenter, like... You know, like, that's the kind of, and he's, like, one of the biggest figures in the world, you know? It's, like, things like that people can relate to is, like, so important, you know? And marketing, just fucking, it all ties in.
The only time you can afford to be cryptic is if you're somebody like Avenged Sevenfold who has all the clout. Exactly. And people are already just demanding more content.
Right, because then they're like, I have my audience, you know? Now I got to get them stimulated, you know.
Like at that
if you have them by the balls, then you can.
Yeah, at that point, you can fucking overproduce just jack shit, like literally dog shit, and they'll eat the fucking shit up.
Yeah,
which is exactly what's going on with Bring Me the Horizon right now. You can shit out a trance album and people will still it up.
That's a fact.
With the longest name ever.
Yo, and some of the longest song titles I've ever seen.
You know, but I respect the fuck out of them for like just doing different shit, you know, like it just shows you what's possible.
Exactly.
Like, you know, it's just like there's, and like I always try to tell people, like the only limits on things are the limits you put on yourself. Like there is no fucking limit in reality. Limit is just like a word we made up, you know. It's like there's no fucking limit. You can do whatever you want. And like another thing is like, you know, people think it's so hard to be like to become really successful, and it's really not. If you think about like if you could get 500 people to give you like $5 a month, like, or like if you can get 500 people to give you $50 a month, which is pretty realistic, you know, like as a product, like think about how much money you can make in a year just off 500 people. You know, if you have, and like those people got to support you. Like if you just have 500 people that support everything that you do, like every fucking post, they buy every piece of merch, they come to every show. Like you fucking know most of these people, you've seen these people, like they're in all of your groups and all this other shit. Like if you have 500 of those people, you can do anything you want. Like as long as you have those 500 diehards, like if you can just get those 500 people, then
you've got your street team. You got your people who are going to tell, you know, the next 500 people and so on and so forth.
And like those people are also like funding you to be alive and like keep doing this, you know, and like if you just have that, like the others will come, and like it's just you gotta have that 500, like, and you know, it's like we're all working towards that, you know, and eventually there's people that have way more than that, but you know, that's all you really need, though. Like when you think about it.
So
go ahead.
What were you gonna say, Pat?
No, go ahead, man.
I was gonna say, do you have anything else? Because I am shot out of questions. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm completely shot.
Oh, I actually had one other question. I was gonna switch gears completely and ask about vocal styles, how you got started with vocals and how you found your actual voice.
That's a super good question. So I really base my vocals off of Ollie Sykes, like old Bring Me the Horizon.
Right.
Got into like screaming and stuff was like when like this is what the edge of your seat is made for, and
that's literally the first EP they ever put out too.
Yeah, and then what was the other one too?
Count Your Blessings. That was my
Count Your Blessings.
That was my first.
Yeah,
not like my first CD, but the first CD I listened to and learned how to start screaming to.
That really made a big impact on me vocally. So I really took elements of that, and I took elements of Linkin Park, and I knew I liked that, and what I learned eventually is like it's good to like kind of know what you like, and it's also good to find like I don't have a very deep voice, so I'm not gonna a lot of the times like I'm not gonna blow my vocals out, just have these crazy lows. Right. It's like I can do them. It's just like I don't want to do whole songs with just like it's like I try to make it impactful, like when I do that. But so I knew I wanted to be in like the mid range, like sing scream type stuff and like shit like that. And I feel like one thing that helps people that are trying to find like a unique vocal style is like, yeah, find the stuff that you like, but don't try to like emulate it exactly. Try to kind of make it your own. And I feel like that's how you find like your.
That's the way to do it. That's 100% the way to do it.
I feel like once I figured that out, I really all just like snowballed and like just like I found like that's the hardest part about like, getting good at vocals is like finding your own thing, because like it's weird with like if you're doing screams because it's hard for your screams to sound different than others. So if you just have like little tonal differences, like everybody's like the only reason your voice sounds different than mine or mine's different than yours is because our bone structure, like the voice box is pretty much the same fucking size for every person. It's just your bone structure and the way you're
the
like
shape of your whole like throat.
And, the way everything resonates in your like the roof of your mouth and like how open your mouth is and like that's why they say Freddie Mercury had such a big range too.
He
had that crazy mouth, and it's like his bone structure was different, so he sounded different. It's all about resonation and stuff. So it's like if you can figure that out and harness it and then find your own style, it's like you are set, like that's the hardest part is just like finding your own unique thing, but if you can lock that down, like you can really do some work. I feel like that's like my biggest advice.
Would you say that you were one of the many kids in that era that were screaming in their bedroom and pissing off their parents?
Yeah, absolutely, bro. In the shower, fucking in my room. I was really lucky though, is my parents let me have like full on fucking band practice in the house. Like I don't know.
That's dope. That's really hard to find.
Like I don't know how they let that happen, because like I don't know, man, but it was cool. So like I lucked out with that, but yeah, just having supportive parents helps a lot too.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Especially I also have to say this real quick, Pat, but I showed the legend the Dropout Kings. And Pat, you know who the legend is. My grandmother. She's it's so funny because he's laughing too. But
I can picture it. I can already see her like bopping to it and shit.
See, the best part is, bro, when I described Dropout Kings to her, she's like, well, when I first said, I was like, so this is the people that I'm gonna be interviewing, me and Pat. And she's like, oh, you and Pat are gonna do another interview? Okay, let's go, let's get it. Practically. And I was like, you want to hear them? And she's a fucking cool ass woman. I love that woman. But she's like, I was like, do you want to hear it? She's like, okay, what am I gonna listen to? Because I pretty much showed her the Hopewell file or the fucking Andrew Furnace. Yeah, Hopewell Furnace, and then I and Hell with. And I showed her Party Cannon. And so I showed him you guys, and I pretty much described him before I even started. I was like, so it's basically rap, but with, screams. And she's like, oh, that'll give me a headache. I was like, all right, well, let's just go through it. Yeah. And so I started, she listened to it, and she's like, oh, okay, Kyle, I like this. I like this. So basically, you have the approval of the legend, my grandmother.
Yeah. Good, I needed it.
I love that woman to death.
Grandmas really are a blessing. I don't have any anymore, so cherish that woman.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Sounds like a saint, though. She sounds cool. She fucks with Dropout Kings. I fuck with her.
Definitely. I'll tell her, bro. I'll definitely tell her.
Kyle, pick up some more Dropout Kings merch and just be like, Grandma, I need you to do this for me. I
my
need
God,
you to pose in a picture
Yeah, I would
with
so post
all the
I
merch.
got you, bro. I'm gonna give her 100%. I will 100% give her my hat right. I'm not even joking.
I'll
100%.
Photoshop a grill on her too.
That's already do you guys like Polyphia?
Yeah, I fuck
Yeah.
with that shit.
Do you guys I forget what fucking song it was, but they have this video where like they use old ladies to like fucking do it's fucking best video ever. You need to watch it though. It's so cool.
I'm definitely doing that after this.
Yeah, it's really good though. But those are the homies though. I love those guys.
So I am completely out of questions, Patrick. I just want to say, everybody that's listening, fucking check these guys out. Buy the fucking merch. These guys are lit. The legend said it herself. These guys are good.
You can't argue with that.
You can't argue with the legend. Okay?
More life experience than us.
Exactly.
If
So
and you have to respect your elders. You have to do what they say.
So guys, check these motherfuckers out. Adam, I'm so happy that you were on the show. We appreciate it.
It was a pleasure being here. It was fun.
Honestly, I look forward to doing a follow-up with more with you and maybe Eddie at some point.
Yeah,
I'd love to do that.
Getting everyone in the same room is so hard sometimes.
Oh,
everybody just has like their own shit. It's just like fucked. Like if it's not a tour, like I'm like I'll just fucking go, or like whoever's nearby, you know. But yeah, we'll definitely make it happen, you know.
So guys, keep your eye out for new music coming out for these guys. Check them out. Keep an eye out.
If you're not already on the Instagram,
exactly.
What the fuck are you doing with your life?
What the fuck you doing?
They got one picture. Just give that one picture a like.
Yeah, that one singular picture that we have right now.
Check them the fuck out. Buy the fucking merch, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Buy the fucking merch.
Yeah, dude. Let me see. Let me see your hair without it.
Oh shit! Hold up.
This is gonna be an extra. His hair is pretty wild now.
Long. I was not expecting it to be that long. Okay. All right. Crazy.
Yeah.
I'm growing mine back out. When he first met me, I was bald.
Yeah, he was bald, bro.
I was bald as fuck when I first met him.
Really?
Yeah. I'm growing my hair. I've been growing my hair out since around the time that I first met him. I was literally taking like a regular razor for your face, and I was shaving my head every day. It was too much. Way too much.
I used to be roommates with him, so definitely.
Well, for work, we had a travel job. It was just like touring, except for work, and 3 days a week. So
yeah, that's a lot.
Used to party
every single fucking day.
Shameless. Yeah, we did.
So, anyways, guys, check out the Instagram. Check out Dropout Kings. They're fucking lit. Check them the fuck out. Buy their merch and follow us on Facebook and in the Instagram. And that's all we gotta say, bro. Check us the fuck out and them.
It's like my dogs know we're about to rap because like they're both chasing each other around the house. They're like, "Fuck yeah, we're about to go out, bro."
Oh, now you said it. Now they're gonna tackle you.
Yeah, now you said it.
How do you know?
Oh god. All right. Thanks for listening, guys.
It's really fun. Oh, sorry.
All right. This is NUMUSICK Podcast. We're tuning out.
Bye.